If you watched John Levy's latest video about Indian dreams, still writing Indian dreams, you came across this massive, amazing Hindu temple in Delhi that supposedly was built in 2005. And it took a while to build, but wow, this is one of the most similar buildings to the ancient things that we've seen that I've ever really come across that's supposedly from a time now. And it was based on 8th and 9th century early Indian history and all kinds of scripture and religious texts and spiritual everythings that have come from this land that's existed for thousands of years in a world that is just much different than the Christian one. And so, wow, but look at the inside of this. These are the kind of buildings that we see all over the realm, but we attribute them to a much earlier time, to places and technology that almost can't be done in the modern era. So what happened here? How did this sneak through? How is this just an absolute masterful area and an incredible construction? And they're even building one in New Jersey of a similar power and capability and architectural, structural, ancient design. So this is all proving that this can be done with recent technology in a surprising amount of time. And definitely take a look at this. This is like a sum up of the research John Levy and Wikipedia did as well. And there's a lot more to go into there about how many workers, 4,000 workers on site every day, 7,000 carvers. I think they had people carving all over the country, and then they'd bring the works in. I found a couple construction photos, but this I found interesting. So take a look, 2000, Google Earth is blurred, and then it comes over here, December of 2000, and it goes. So this is a gradual timeline of the Google Earth photographs that we have. And you can see, look at how crazy the area gets built all around it. And everything. It's like watching a World's Fair appear in the construction of it just come from an area that was astounding. Look at next to it. There's like slums or just amazingly packed cities next to this. And this whole area, I don't know, I mean, they didn't undig this because the levels would be really off. So they built this puppy, and they built it in this area, and they look at how quickly they make the area come to life. And this is again with tons of workers, thousands of workers probably being paid very little. But this is a similar tactic to what we theorize the ancients would have done. They would have had a bunch of people doing it, a certain planner, take the pieces, put it together like a giant puzzle, and boom, you have something amazing. And now these claim to be marble and particular stones that I hadn't heard of before. So I'm not sure how malleable they are, how easy they are to carve with, but the carvings are immaculate. And they still do have a little bit of the New World flair to them. You can kind of tell the difference. They're very new. You couldn't really polish off old stuff and make it look like these do. And plus the old styles of the animals were always kind of depicted differently than they are now. And now, as you'll see, there's all kinds of elephants and animals that just appear like constructed in the art form of and style of today, but mixed with a little bit of the ancient influence as well. But look at how big this area came up and how quick it came up, and wow. And I also want to show you the New Jersey one had a lot of controversy around it for hiring really cheap labor from across the world, and so they got in trouble for it and all these different things. But it's so interesting. But you obviously know they didn't dig this out of New Jersey, something like this. But this whole area I find remarkable. And how much are they going to expand on it? They're pretty seem like this area was carved out separate from the city, separate from the farmland, almost like maybe it had an underlying structure to it a long time ago, and they're kind of exploiting it again or bringing it back. Who knows the true history? We only know the internet history, which we know is full of lies. So you can't really tell, but there clearly is something that happened here during that time. Here's a quick time lapse of of a little zoom in of this area, and only this area, so you can see it as it comes. Look at it. Look at how quickly it came together. And you don't really see, I'll show you some construction photos that have a lot of things packed all over the place. You don't really see too much. It seems like it got really built during this time. And boom, and then it just kind of keeps coming. I wish you could see an on-the-ground view of these pictures as they came, but either way, this thing is being built, and they crafted it amazingly. Beautiful symmetric patterns. I guess they used kind of key influence from Angkor Wat and a bunch of other Hindu and Jain temples from around the world, but they've made an amazing place within our time, within our lifetime, the last 20 years. And it's so impressive. And does this throw a wrench in a lot of our thoughts? I'm not sure. I really don't know. I mean, they're using modern technology for a lot of it, but they're also using the ancient way for a lot of it, in the method of just getting a bunch of people to do this. And that is one thing that they always had a lot of: manpower in the past. And maybe that can conquer the electrical power that they were missing, or if they had ethereal sound patterns to lift things, sound methods of doing things. Who knows? But either way, what a beautiful structure. Tons of gold in it. And as well, the one difference I see between this and the old world structures is I envision the old world structures to be painted fully. This one just kind of looks like a giant sand sculpture. And again, you don't know how long this will last. Those other ones that lasted from the 9th century on were built to last and withstood a lot of storms and everything. It would be interesting to see how long this one will last, and when it starts to deteriorate, and how it really starts to deteriorate, what crumbles first, etc. Seems like a very high tourist zone, and they have a lot of people that visit it. So I guess they say it's tough to get into the zone spiritually because of all the people, but still, wow. And again, it's built in 2020. 2005. So there's a difference in the spiritual levels compared to what you would find in the ancient, like that resonance of ancient life and experiences in that area definitely play out in our present moment when we are at a place like this. But look at these. This is amazing art, amazing artwork, amazing sculpture, but still very different from the way you'd see it in the past. Those are definitely more lively, modern-esque animals, and they look great, and they're so smooth, there's no cracks, so you know it was done really recently. And maybe that structure, maybe there was something to do with that, maybe they scrubbed it on Google or did some Photoshop work or whatever, but you don't really know. But this is very interesting. The world's largest Hindu temple is in New Jersey. So this is being built, I think now, or has been being built for a while, under construction in New Jersey, and it looks amazing. And again, they're pulling out a construction that seems like it would be way past its limit. But it's also a human trafficking story. They got busted for having laborers working $1 a day for something like this. So it's kind of like bringing the old world into America, and then you clash with lawsuits, obviously, because America's like that. And but I wonder also if these Indians, these Hindu, are using the ancient methods to do this, and if this is part of their way of resurrecting this history, restoring the world's architectural mastery to a level that it should be at. And if so, then kudos to them. They are doing an amazing job of showing that it is possible and inspiring people with spiritual architecture, stuff that has been totally lost, stuff that has been so devoid. All over New Jersey, there is nothing like this. It's an interesting place, but you won't find anything as magical as this until now. And all these people gathering, beautiful ceremonies, all vegetarian food, probably, I'm not sure. But either way, the colors, everything's so alive instead of the construction that we see nowadays where everything is gray, prison gray. All these houses, all the styles they're convincing people of are just dull and useless. And this is actually in the Delhi one, but wow, a huge structure of gold. And again, that looks really new. And it's supposed to be of the Swami, so it most likely is, but could they repurpose that? Could they rebuff old gold? I don't know. There's so many possibilities here that John Levy busted out in this thing by showing this building and showing that it is possible to do this type of mastery nowadays, even in a place like Delhi. So you just need the people, you need the will, and you need some money. And you can save money on, on labor if you do it this way, but either way, I feel that this is here to show us that we can do this. We can restore the old world style back. We can do it now, still with our modern technology, and maybe even better. Who knows if it'll last or if it'll get blown over in a storm or struck by lightning and crumble. But either way, it looks awesome, and it gives people that feeling. It brings hope to us winning this battle of culture, and hopefully we can continue to make structures back again in that old world method, which just flows so well with our reality, flows so well with our psyche, makes everyone feel so good. It looks beautiful, never an eyesore, always pure awe when you're looking at these buildings, and that is a great thing. And they last. They're so strong, they're built so well, they're works of art. They're masterpiece works of art at the ultimate level. I mean, a painting is a painting, it's on a canvas, but when a whole structure works together and fits in harmony visually and physically, structurally, it is a masterful work of art, and that's exactly what these places are. So Bless everyone that worked on this. Dear God, your karma for working for $1 a day on something so laborious is hopefully will pay off in the next realm. And again, thank you for creating such a masterful thing that throws a little bit of a wrench into the truther community in some way. Because how often, I mean, were they capable of building these things again in the early American age? I still think that they're covering up an ancient civilization, and they dug up a lot of stuff and repurposed tons of buildings because it's easy in that time, in the time when 1800s, early 1900s, when news could be just figured out and manipulated so easily. But to do it in 2005 like this, still not too many construction photos. I'd like to dig more, but either way, I guess maybe they could hide a perfect place in the realm from us and then just kind of unveil it and manipulate things technologically. But I don't know. I'm leaning towards something different here, and it's very interesting. And I hope that what this is a revival of old world style technology in life, because that is truly what this world needs. And it would be great to see more wonderful artworks like this of spiritual and religious character being built all over the world. So kudos to John Levy for bringing this to everyone's attention. I had come across this in the past, but never really gave it much thought, just one of about 10,000 pictures. But either way, great to dive into it. If you know any information out there, lend some insight in the comments below, and let me know what you think. Thanks again, everybody, and bless you all.